All right, it's time to do the Friday on February 13th. So, today is one of the Friday the 13th. So hopefully we're not going to get any sort of ominous, eerie clues on this. But yeah, anyways, carry on. So Evan Mulvihill is going to be the author of this one, edited by Will Shorts. Yeah. Let's see how this one. Ooh, this is a long grid, 16 by 15, I think, because it's split like this across the middle. So there must be a good reason for this. Let me just take a look at the ones that go across it. Well, these certainly are some very long answers. So this is quite enticing. Let's take a look at this. Org with checkpoints. Could be TSA checkpoints. I perhaps it's that I know that TSA pre has like that check mark. Maybe it could be something else. CIA checkpoints? I mean, it could be a lot of three-letter abbreviations for some organizations. I'm going to continue on. Bishop's locale. What made a bishop? Well, a bishop, their domain is a diocese. That's the official name for it. But bishop could also be a chess piece. Bishop's locale could be a cell. That doesn't really work. There is a word CEL, pronounced cell also, but that's only reserved for comic strip cells. So a cell is a square in a comic strip specifically, but it doesn't work for just a general square. Cell would have to be spelled with two L's. So what else could this be? One with a burning passion. Perhaps pyro for a pyromaniac. Uh, I think pyro for short does work. Let's see. Poke accompaniment at times. I think it's perhaps psst, like that, sort of to get your attention. Many a bonny bairn. Bonny bairn. Lass, perhaps? Because this is somewhat of a Scottish thing. Bairn is a bonny is also this whole thing's bonny is sort of a lady, I think. So lass seems to be right. Um, bonkers, nutso, perhaps nutso. Lundy something. Festive Monday observance in New Orleans. So Lundi is French for Monday. And what was what's a special Monday? Because I know there's Fat Tuesday and there's Ash Wednesday. But what could there be on Mondays? Um, what's a special Monday festival? I don't know. Guarded. Guarded could shut perhaps guarded. I don't know. Cagey in some way. It's handled at the bar. What's handled at the bar? The bar could be a physical bar, could be a bar like a pub, it could be a bar like a bar association. Casual assent could be yep. Monday something. A widget could be a thingy. So maybe this is TSA. I think I like that. Um, Absolutely could be hell yeah. And guarded could be secure. That's right. Um, this is Fat Monday, maybe? Lundi Gras is a festive Monday observance, and Mardi Gras is Fat Tuesday, which could work. An ale tap is handled at the bar. That's right, because an ale tap is something that has a handle and it's in a bar. A skating venue is an ice arena. Okay, nice. We have this is Bishop's locale is a C. I don't know what that means. C being a noun? I don't really get this, but perhaps it is a word that I just don't know. And it could be the case that this is somewhat of an obscure reference to the word C just to make it a bit difficult. I'm going to see what else I can get from this. Let's see what else. I mean, these ones have a lot of letters given to me. Might be, I believe San Martin is a island nation, perhaps a tiny nation. San Marino, I think that was the sorry, I think it's San Marino because San Marino is a little landlocked self-governing nation inside Italy. I think similar to the Vatican. I think it's San Marino. I'm gonna go with that for now. Um, Cold drinks often topped with evaporated milk. Cold drinks. Surely there's an S at the end. Let's see what this is. Gives a wave. Perhaps this says hi. Just very casual wave. Blinkers might be eyes because these are things that blink. Like some breath could be bated breath. Okay, we're flying through this now. Someone singing something. Something is a song that I don't know, so I'm gonna go somewhere else. Research scientist Johnny could be a lab note, I suppose. Something note seems right. Something guitar, go solo or solo guitar. Not I, perhaps. Or maybe it's nor I, a negative reply. Like me neither, nor I, perhaps. Provincetown catch. So this has to be either not or nor, I imagine, and I don't know what it is. Birds whose name comes from the Latin word for golden is orioles, and sort of oro is, for example, the Spanish word for gold, oro. So this seems to be similar to that in terms of etymology. So I like that. Honolulu, thank you, is mahalo, and goddess often depicted with peacocks. I think this might be Hera, because that's a four-letter goddess name beginning with an H. One's offering cheap shots. Something bars, and some some bars being cheap. Hole in the wall bars. What is the word that I'm looking for? Which I can't think of right now. Council for short is the American Bar Association. How the Quran is written in Arabic. Okay, province down to scratch could be scrawd. Again, one of those words that looks like a word and like it just rings true as a word, and I don't know what it means, normally. So now I know that it is a kind of fish, I think. The opposite of après is, so this is after in French, but before is avant, as in avant-garde. Um, Sort of like before the times in a way. What is this? One's offering cheap shots. Um, Cave bars? Is that a word? I'm gonna go with cave bars. I don't know why it would be cheap, but I think cave just sort of signals that. I'm gonna see what this is. Polite, friendly stereotype from the Midwest. Which I don't know. They don't give you the full picture. And something, what is this? Which sold for more than 42 million in 2017. What is the Apollo blue? Well, it's a carat, so it's some kind of gemstone. I imagine it's a very large gemstone, and I can't think of what it is. Let's just see what else there is. To clear a sentence, well, this makes me think that sentence. It could be, maybe it's trying to get you to think about sentence as in a prison sentence, but maybe sentence in terms of writing is a less common form of notion of clear a sentence. So erase might be a word that I'm looking for here. It certainly is very crossword, um, very convenient word for crosswords, but I'm gonna see what else there is. A mythological figure who turns men into pigs. A figure. The what was the name of those goat human hybrids? The um I'm forgetting what the word is for that. Oh, satyr, perhaps? Satyr? How do you pronounce that? Um, could this be it? It's a mythological feature, turns men into pigs. Makes me feel like this might actually be more of like a female character, perhaps a siren? So I don't know. I don't know. It could be a few things. A sharp wind. Sharp wind could be an oboe, because oboe is known for having a sharp-ish kind of nasally sound. So perhaps it's oboe. I'm gonna see if this is right. A red plastic one might be worn on Halloween. A red plastic one. What could be red and plastic? A basket? Um, don't know. Shoe shaping tools. Laths, I think that's what the word is. Lath? No. I think a group of reps is a set. Or maybe it's not going for reps as in a bunch of reps in a gym, but maybe it's going for reps as in representatives. Oh man, this is tough though. I can't be sure what if this is trying to trick me or not. Longtime teammate of Derek Jeter familiarly. I think this might be A-Rod for Aaron Rodriguez. And you see A-Rod show up somewhat often, so um, in case there aren't any other sort of nicknames of baseball players, I think I'm just gonna go with A-Rod, which I also don't know for sure also. Um, what could this be? Poem so beloved by Abraham Lincoln that he carried it in his pocket and memorized it. I have no idea, no idea. It's what you should take. You should take your time, I suppose. What should you take? Offerings at a reception. Drinks, perhaps? What else is there? Catches. Well, this should be an S then. Nabs, perhaps. I'm just gonna go with nabs. Just try to fill things in. Seriously, it might be no lie. It could be no cap. But I'm gonna go with no something. To really fancy might be to really like someone, to adore, to love. Really fancy. Really fancy. I'm purposely going for fancy as in to like someone, but um, maybe that's not what this is going for. I can't tell honestly with these question mark clues, but there are a lot of them in this puzzle. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. Sped right through the stop signal. Ran a light. Ran a light. Is that the word for it? Ran a light maybe. Visitor to a fertility clinic. Um, don't know. Director Coppola. Oh my god, I remembered this showed up just recently, and I forgot the name of this director again. Let's see. Historic event the French call Le Jour J. I think this could be D-Day. Um, because it's some kind of a day, and perhaps it's mirroring the J with the D here. Andor actor something Luna, which I don't know. Crayon with a much hiked section, canyon with a much hiked section called the Narrows. Is it Zion? It might be Zion. Alphabetically, last nutrient in multivitamin is zinc. Yes, so it is Zion and zinc. Girl. Uh, puts down. Scorns, perhaps? If you scorn someone, you might put them down. Then let's see what this is. Close, or to close with. I don't know. Spots. What might be some spots with the S at the end? C's doesn't work. I don't know. Fleetwood Mac hit sent to be inspired by a Welsh witch. Oh, perhaps Rhiannon. Rhiannon is a Welsh name. I know a couple of people named Rhiannon because they're from Wales, so Rhiannon seems right. What could this be? Hits counterpart is stay. You might hit or stay in blackjack. I think that's what it's going for. Ones who don't believe in global revolutions, flat earthers, because they don't believe that the. Is it true that they don't believe that the Earth is in orbit? Global revolutions. They don't believe in day and night. Maybe it's a bit of a stretch, but hey, I don't think any flat earthers are going to be complaining about a New York Times puzzle. Yeah, they had it coming. To clear a sentence could possibly be erased then. Someone singing something is so okay. It's a Beatle because maybe the Beatles sang maybe one of the songs was something. Seems like a title that the Beatles had, but I just didn't piece it together in time. So let's see what this is. This looks like this is tea. Thai? Maybe it's Thailand teas? Thai something teas. Perhaps. Perhaps this is not oboe. A little sore might be miffed. Sore as in like kind of salty about something, a bit resentful. So let's go with something else. Dating qualifier. Dating qualifier. Age, area. You might have like their salary, I suppose. Dating qualifier. Oh no, sorry. It's not dating as in dating. It's circa as in around. So dating as in like actually like putting a date to a certain event. So circa. Teammate of Cupid in his visit from Saint Nicholas. Cupid and Comet. Right, so Cupid and Comet, the reindeer. So there it is. What is this? I don't know if it's cave bars again. I think I'm really don't like how that looks with this. So this might be Thai iced teas. That's right, they're topped with evaporated milk. That seems right. That seems right. Polite, friendly stereotype from the Midwest. Something. Minnesotan. Minnesotan something. Okay. What could this be? something I've bars. Dive bars. Right, that's something I've heard of. Dive bars. And they're just known for being somewhat cheap. They offer cheap alcohol. Spiritual sustenance is manna. You have the phrase manna from heaven. God delivered manna from heaven. Or was it Moses? I don't know, but manna from heaven is a word. Um, and yeah, it is a word. Let's see. Movie trailers don't give you the full picture. That's a clever one. I really like these ones. I feel like these are very um, fresh phrases, which is why perhaps the whole the whole grid revolves around this, which is nice. Let's see. Pop up might be to arise. Um, Minnesotan, Minnesota nice. That's right. It's not Minnesotan. Minnesota nice. So the N goes here. Okay, that's all right. Diamond earring. I didn't know this diamond earring sold for that much. Saves for later in a way. Perhaps it's TiVo's. I don't. I mean I can conceive of like TiVo is a sort of precursor to VCR, and maybe conceivably, if you TiVo something, it means like you save it as a TiVo format for later in a way. So in a way, you might save it for later, might TiVo it. One after is tailed. Okay, I'm just gonna go with that because it seems like TiVo is just right. Sharp wind is a fife, so it's another one of those wind instruments that's a sharp wind. A red plastic one, a red fire hat, perhaps if you dress as a fire hat, but like only a cheap one, is made out of plastic and is red for a Halloween costume, of course. Thumbs down from me. I I loathe it. I don't I don't know. A lived experience. I vote no perhaps, which is not like really a phrase that people say, but I vote no and I vote yes. I definitely have seen their share of in puzzles. So, it's okay. It's all right. It's all right. Sheryl Sandberg, perhaps, with a U or an E. I don't know what letter this is. Let's see. Offerings at a reception. It's what you should take in brief. What you should take in brief. I don't know. Let's see what this is. The Raven. Right, the Raven is loved by Abraham Lincoln. All right, then what is this? Shoe shaping tools and a group lasts. Oh, okay. Yes. It does make sense also, just like looking at the clue as well, because a last is something I suppose that holds the shoe in place, allowing you to shape it. So a last is a shoe shaping tool. So I think this might be tosses. Um, to really fancy. I can't think of what this is. Circe was a mythological figure. Then what could this be? This is perhaps what you should take in brief. Uh, what is this? R. You should take what is this word? To really fancy is to covet. Sorry, to covet something. Is to fancy something to the point of jealousy and envy. Offerings at a reception, you might offer a toast. That's what they say. What you should take in brief. A recommended daily amount. That's what you should take in brief. And this is Sheryl Sandberg. Right. Now that I think about it, perhaps it was Andy Sandberg that's spelled with a U. So perhaps Sheryl Sandberg is the only really viable option for this. But I will look at that later and see if I'm right about that. An egg donor might be a visitor to a fertility clinic. That's right. Ferruginous ferruginous pigment. What kind of pigment am I thinking about here? Um, Ferru makes me think like iron, sort of the prefix for iron things. So is it kind of a grayish thing? I don't know. Um, let's see. Close with. So somehow we have the word with after this as well. So the answer something with is close with. In something with. I don't know. Um, man, this okay. So this is the last part. This is the last part of it. Perhaps it's not scorns, but it does seem to fit everything that I've gotten. So I think puts down is scorns. Girl. Perhaps this is Yas, sort of as a in like Yasified language. You would say Yas for girl specifically. Um, let's see what I can get here. Oh, I don't know. So I would have thought this was in something with blank, but now I'm not so sure. And I'm sure this is Dita. I'm sure all of these are right because there are just so many crossings. They cross each other, so I think that's right. Spots. Maybe if you ID something, you spot it. Maybe in good with something, someone. So perhaps this is Diego. Oh, sorry, not spot. Okay, spots could be ads. You have some ad spots. Maybe this is Vienna? Not Vienna. Sienna. Sorry, Sienna. Sis is girl. That's right. All right, perfect. Let's take a look at this one. This was quite a challenging one. I just want to go over these a bit more methodically. I think I kind of skimmed over a few of them, at least ones I didn't really get to look at that much. Something I will say is that there are some very descriptive clues in this puzzle. This one and this one as well, which are words that I knew about, and there's certainly quite less, should I say, interesting and inform educational ways to clue these. But I really like the effort that Evan went to give us some interesting information here. We also have some nice question mark clues here, like this one as well. Really fancy and clear a sentence. So I will say about this one, um, I suppose erase just means in general to clear. I'm not quite sure what a sentence is doing here. Um, I suppose when you say erase, you're talking about erasing writing. Of course, erase has been used sort of more in more modern terms to be like memory as well, but those are all sort of also in some way like digital sentences. You might clear memory, you clear a sort of a line of text, or at least just like a string of data, binary code, for instance. So you would erase it. And I suppose clear a sentence, you were meant to think clear a sentence is to sort of serve your time, but this one erase, which okay, now that I talk it out, I think I can believe this and I buy this clue, sort of being a proper use of question mark clues. So sort of what I mean by proper use of question mark clues is you want the clue to sort of have no loose ends in terms of information that is being provided, especially when you have a question mark here. So when you have a question mark, you are expecting it to be somewhat tricky, but you also expect that all the necessary information you have is in the clue and nothing more. So you kind of don't want to have any red herrings a in a clue. That's sort of seen as bad form. Like there are some other clues where you are given a lot of information just because it's sort of something that you might need, or maybe you it might help you if you recognize this title to come towards the answer. Perhaps it was, for instance, you get a lot of very information, like a lot of information, um, more than you necessarily need, but sometimes it gives you some clues as to what you're looking for. In this case, you're supposed to think of Cupid, fixate on this word, and see, well, what associations do I have with Cupid? And if you come across the association of Cupid being a reindeer, then you can get Comet, which is also a reindeer. Something else I remember before. Let me see if I can find it. Ah, right, like for the golden, like the name for golden, like just a bunch of little clues that would help you with this, like Rhiannon as well. If you know like a name of a Welsh witch or just a general Welsh name, then you could get this one as well. Um, so going back to this one, the way that this works here is that, you know, if this were just if a sentence had nothing to do with the answer here, then this would kind of be seen as a bad clue. It's sort of poorly written. It's ill-formed. Um, but luckily that doesn't happen here because there's a good reason why a sentence is in here. It's not just to throw you off, but it is to sort of have you concentrate more on the specific meaning of to delete words, to erase something in that way. And this one I think was just like, you know, um, this might be a sort of weird opinion, but I'm a fan of clues that don't even have a question mark clue there, a question mark to indicate. Sometimes it's just kind of catches you by surprise. Like this one, they don't give you the full picture. This one could very easily have been a question mark as well, but just the choice not to just leaves you just second guessing yourself all the time. Same thing with the one that was set actually. Now that I think about this, I don't even know what else this answer could have been. I was thinking about a group of reps. Perhaps if the clue was being a bit tricky, it might have actually been trying to tell you to find a word that means like a group of representatives, like a group of politicians. Um, that didn't happen here. And I suppose like even if I assume that the clue is actually going for a group of representatives, I can't even think of a three-letter answer that could fit there. So in any case, set was the correct word here. Everything around here was also very clean. There was no real like weak fill here, anyways. Um, and again, I can clearly see why um, Evan made this choice here. It just so happened that all of these words are very fresh. They're very exciting words. He could come up with very interesting clues for all of them. You could just see like just like the range of crossings he was able to have. Just like so many long words here as well as the ones over here. This was a good puzzle, so I like it.